Guys, be sure to hit the like button one time. What we're talking about is Carmelo Anthony, guys. Carmelo Anthony is back in the news. That's right. Carmelo Anthony is back in the news. That's right. Shocking text messages revealed. It revealed everyone's worst fears. Now, guys, I told you that this man went down there to kill somebody. Y'all didn't believe me. The black community, primarily these FBA groups, they've been defending Carmelo Anthony hard body. And now the text messages get dropped, revealing just how sick he actually was. But we got to do what we got to do, guys. Give me a minute. Let me set this thing up real quick so we can do what we need to do. Hope everybody's having a blessed day. Yeah. Carmelo Anthony, guys. You know, if they go through a new trial, he's going to get life in prison if they do that. If they go to a new trial, Carmelo's getting life in prison for this one. They had some sort of gentleman's agreement, and I guess what they wanted to do is keep information out from both sides. I guess, like, you probably had some dirt from Austin's side, you had some dirt from Carmelo's side, and I looked at both sides, and the side of Carmelo's worse. Like, with the side with Austin, they said that he bullied some kid in school. Guys, we all been to school. Some of you were bullies. Some of you been bullied. It's interesting that when a white person is a bully, it supersedes all bullies. Austin is dead. Carmelo is not. So they brought up with Austin. They said that Austin and his brother, I guess they spray painted some KKK, some racial slurs, typical white boy stuff. Like, what white boy in his teenage years haven't uttered N-words, KKK? I mean, that's your culture. Those are things that you were raised from your parents and other people and other kids. These are things that typical white boys do. And it appears shocking to a lot of you, but that's not shocking to me because I'm a grown man. It's just like if you're a black kid and you were raised in a predominantly black community, saying the word nigga is not a foreign thing. This is something that you do all the time. Gang banging is typical in the black community. Joining gangs. These are typical things that black youth go through. Holding guns, shooting guns, smoking weed, drinking, doing all this other stuff, robbing, stealing. These are things that in the black community, they don't like to talk about these things, but that's typical within your so-called sick culture. So when I looked at two rap sheets of Austin and Carmelo, it was absolutely, it was crazy because a lot of times within the black community, they're going to jump on board and try to highlight things in regards to Austin. But those things are not important. And I'm going to explain why. The reason why it's not is because you cannot really spin a narrative of racism and all this other stuff when the person is dead. When you look at Austin's situation, Austin didn't go to the game or to the track event to kill anyone. Regardless of his past, regardless of whatever, That's irrelevant. They made an agreement, a gentleman's agreement, because if they would have brought this stuff into the court, Karmelo would have got life in prison automatically. They were trying to give Karmelo a fair, decent trial without railroading him. But they had enough evidence to put him away. He would have got life in prison. If the text messages would have been revealed in court, it's over for him because of the nature of the crime. You understand? So I don't understand why everyone's making a big deal. He's a killer. He's a murderer. I'm disappointed with the black community because you guys are an embarrassment. You guys literally been out here protesting and defending a killer. Well, we're going to reveal this info here and kind of break this stuff down because this is sick, guys. This is sick. Karmelo was worse than we thought. Now, I was correct the whole time. I got hated by the black community. The black community pulled all their support from my platform, said we're done with Ringo. And it's okay, cool. But I'm right, and you're wrong. I told you guys in older videos that Karmelo Anthony had mental health issues. I told you he had a violent past. I told you that he most likely went to that event because he was angry and he wanted to kill somebody. Now it all comes out. He threatened his girlfriend after his girlfriend broke up with him. He put out text messages talking about he gonna lick the blood off the knife. The knife. This is the weapon that Karmelo Anthony used to kill Austin Metcalf. This is the weapon, guys. He took this knife, plunged it into his heart, and then claimed self-defense. Now, this is the very knife that Karmelo said after he stabbed somebody, he's going to lick the blood off the knife. Think about that, fam. That he's going to lick the knife and as a show of his fantasizing with the knife, guys. Think about that. Karmelo Anthony's knife, guys. This is the knife that Karmelo Anthony used to kill Austin Metcalf. And he said that he's going to lick the blood off the knife. To the mods, could you block that person that said Ringo put away the knife? Could you block that person, please? Thank you. You don't tell me what to do on my show. All right. Now, let's get to the tapes. Do what we got to do. Appreciate everybody stopping by. Hope everybody's having a blessed day. If you're at lunch, enjoy your lunch. Let's get to the content. I'm going to also review this video possibly later on, but I want to kind of go live to kind of talk about it because it's kind of fresh. I was supposed to do it from last night, but I want to pretty much deal with this now. Also, it is also said that Karmelo Anthony's parents tried to put him in some sort of program that deals with violent kids. Guys, when I tell you, they lied to us, man. They told you that Karmelo was a good kid, that Karmelo had straight A's. He was just this good, nice boy. No, he was not, fam. Let's get to these tapes, fam. Let's go. Let's get to it, man.
Court this morning on Karmelo Anthony.
Rewind it back.
Daily Mail's Marianne Martinez reporting because they're in court this morning on Karmelo Anthony on the defense motion to get him a new trial, saying that there had been a gentleman's agreement that we weren't going to do character evidence at this trial, and the prosecution somehow violated that by making some passing reference to like what Austin Metcalf liked to do or what Karmelo Anthony liked to do for fun. It's such a Hail Mary by the defense. But something big happened in court this morning when the prosecutor got up and did not deny that there was a gentleman's agreement to not go to the character place on either the accused, Karmelo Anthony, who stabbed and killed Austin Metcalf at a track meet for absolutely nothing. Austin told him he had to leave Austin's team's tent, and Karmelo Anthony instantly stabbed him. Or Austin Metcalf. They both sides agreed we're not going to do character evidence on either the defendant or the decedent. And the prosecutor got up there and said, we did have such an agreement, but let me tell you what we would have introduced had we gone there. It would have been like, because now the defense is like, we should have been able to do that. If we're going to do that, we could have talked about what a bad person Austin Metcalf was. And he's like, how about Karmelo Anthony, the actual defendant? Here's what I had in my back pocket. He says, first of all, Karmelo Anthony's girlfriend, Valeria, would have testified that she went to school the morning of the stabbing, April 2nd, 2025. And she told school officials that she had broken up with Karmelo Anthony and that he was stalking her.
Did you get that? On the morning of the stabbing, the girlfriend, Karmelo, said that she went to the school and told them after she broke up that Karmelo was stalking her. How many of you ladies would co-sign a man stalking you? A sicko. That's why I tell you ladies all the time, y'all be giving these ninjas the time of day. And a lot of these thirsty ninjas, they're creeps, they're weirdos. They think about vagina all day. They don't have no job. They don't have no life. And when you break up with them, they want to stalk you now. They don't know how to take no for an answer. The young lady was fearing for her life. I thought Karmelo was a good kid. I thought Karmelo was a good guy. Why would a good kid be stalking a young lady? Come on now. Why would Karmelo be stalking this poor girl, this innocent girl who just wanted to get away from him? He wanted to kill her with the very knife that he used on Austin. He was planning on killing her, guys. All of this was supposed to come out in court. And yet the black community was supporting Karmelo, a man who was stalking somebody's daughter, plotting to kill her. Karmelo wanted to put, guys, this knife in that girl. The same knife that he used on Austin, he was planning on killing the girlfriend too. This is sick.
So this had happened that morning. 1 hour later, Austin Metcalf was dead.
1 hour later. 1 hour later, after the girlfriend of Karmelo made her report to the school, an hour later, Austin is dead. Why? Because Karmelo is a bitch. He was butthurt that he got dumped, so he took it out on somebody white. Let's go.
Up with Karmelo Anthony and that he was stalking her. So this had happened that morning. 1 hour later, Austin Metcalf was dead, according to the prosecutor.
Wow.
Clearly painting a picture of this kid, so-called Karmelo Anthony, who was a hothead, who was angry that morning, in some level of emotional distress and turmoil already at the time he showed up at the track meet. It's starting to come together, that hair trigger he had. But here's the real headline. So first of all, he texted the girlfriend, I'm low-key on the verge. He texted her the morning of the stabbing. The verge of what? We're not sure exactly. However, the prosecutor says Anthony had a history of violence.
What?
And that he wanted to stab someone.
Wow. Karmelo had a history of violence. The same kid that the black community, these FBAs, the blackity blacks, the pro blacks, all of these individuals were online, on YouTube, TikTok, promoting and celebrating Karmelo Anthony as a hero. And now it comes out, Karmelo Anthony had a history of violence. Stalking a young girl, a poor young girl, an innocent, poor young girl who couldn't defend herself. So she went to the school for help. She did the right thing. She went to the school, made her report, tried to get them to intervene, but it was too late. It was too late. On that very fateful morning, Karmelo had the weapon with him. He was planning on killing the girlfriend. But instead, he was walking around with a demon on his back. Y'all saw when Karmelo entered that stadium. He was with no friends because he was butthurt that his girlfriend dumped him, fam. Those are the weakest kind of men. Men that get dumped by women, and then those men are salty and they angry. Their emotions is running. They don't know what to do with themselves. So he said, you know what? I'm going to go kill somebody. See, some of you guys, man, I get it. You know, you probably was dating some shorty. You were all invested. She decides she wanted to break up with you. You don't know her reason and why. You don't understand. You seem to be a good guy to her. You just got to just let it go, fam, and just move on, bro, and just hit the gym, start working out. You'll forget about her. You know what I'm saying? But if you going to go out there and start getting angry, go to your job, now you want to fight your co-workers, you want to act a fool. I told you guys about stories like this with dudes. They get dumped by their old lady, and then they want to fight with other dudes for no reason. Remember that time I told you guys when I was working on a 9-to-5, and you had some dude. This was when I had first started working for that agency. I was at the bottom of the bottom, the lowest job title in that company. And I'm in the hallway working, and a dude started to, front on me, started cussing, acting a fool. And I already know what I'm capable of. I'm just trying to just take care of my family. I'm happy I just got the job. You know what I mean? But he running his mouth, trying to provoke me to anger. And I'm like, bro, man, I'm trying to stay quiet. Long story short, like I was going to do something to him, but I would have lost my job. I would have got fired. I would have went to jail. Long story short, all that stuff kind of simmered down. Dude come back into the building. Hey, yo, bro, I apologize, fam. My bad, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here trying to flip on you. I see you doing your job, and I'm over here trying to, and he was like, yo, my old lady broke up with me. And in my mind, I wanted to punch him in his face because it's like, dude, you over here harassing me because you angry that your old lady broke up with you. That has nothing to do with me, dog. I'm over here trying to do my job. How many of you ever been doing your job and somebody is trying to press you or get on your last nerve? You on the job, you on the clock, you trying to protect your job. You're not trying to go there. And this idiot is doing things to provoke you, bro, on the job, man. You're like, damn, dog, I'm working, fam. You trying to make me lose my bread, bro? So in a situation like this, Karmelo broke up with his old lady. Rather than him just go hit the gym, go, punch a punching bag, the heavy bag, go play some video games, he decide, you know what? I'm going to go get my knife. I'm going to go get my knife and plot on killing somebody. And that's what he did, y'all. I told y'all, man. Y'all didn't believe me. From day one, I told y'all these things. You go back to my playlist, I told you guys that Karmelo's a violent kid. Everybody got mad at me. Everybody condemned me. Said that I'm a hater, I don't like black people, I'm a traitor, a sellout, and all of this other stuff because of my opinions based on this issue. Now look at the news that's coming out. Now the news that is out there is that Karmelo was basically, he had a violent history, fam. Threatening women, stalking women, and saying weird stuff about licking blood off of a knife.
Ready at the time he showed up at the track meet. It's starting to come together, that hair trigger he had. But here's the real headline. So first of all, he texted the girlfriend, I'm low-key on the verge. He texted her the morning of the stabbing.
He texted her.
The verge of what? We're not sure exactly. However, the prosecutor says Anthony had a history of violence and that he wanted to stab someone.
Wow.
Quote, there is a text message where he fantasizes about stabbing someone and licking the blood off the blade.
Guys, this demon fantasized about stabbing somebody and licking the blood off the blade. Now you tell me. It's in the text message. He fantasized about this, premeditated. It's premeditated in his mind, y'all. Karmelo had the knife on him, texting the girlfriend, telling her what he want to do to someone. And the black community supported that. They condemned me. All I've been doing is speaking the truth the whole time. This stuff is sick, man. Let me see. Shout out to Marissa for the support. Says, you definitely called it out from the beginning. You wasn't fooled at all. Appreciate you supporting the work. From day one, guys, I told y'all these things. You go back to my tapes. From day one, I put the story together. I figured out the whole thing. This dude was butthurt. I told y'all that. You go back to the videos, I literally said these words, man. I said Karmelo went down there angry. Something happened before that stabbing. He was upset with somebody, and he went down there heated, and he wanted to kill somebody. Now look what came out. Now look what came out. Yeah. Yep. He was hypnotized by hatred. Because remember I was talking about, that's the quote from Lil Boosie. A famous quote that Boosie put out there on, I think it was Vlad TV. He did an interview, and I still didn't even get to review that video, but that statement from Boosie is real. Hypnotized by hatred, man. When a person is hypnotized by hatred, dog, yo, they'll do anything to you, man. You can have people in your family that is hypnotized by hatred. Colleagues, friends in the workplace, hypnotized by hatred. Every time they see you, they're jealous of you. Every time they see you drive by, they hypnotized by hatred. They can't stand to see you shine. They're jealous of your relationship. They see the way you look. You hit the gym. You in shape. You looking good. Living good. Driving good. Family looking good. Your kids are good. They mad, bro. Hypnotized by hatred. They want to see you die. What Diddy said in that song? They want to see you die rather than see you fly. You have a lot of people out there like that, man. A lot of you out there have people that are hypnotized by hatred because you were able to excel in life. Here's another thing. You can have somebody that's hypnotized by hatred and they got more than you. You out here struggling, trying to survive, trying to pay them bills. Because y'all know, everybody trying to keep up with them bills. You can have somebody out here that's making more money than you, got a better house than you, better car, and they're hypnotized by hatred because you got a car. They don't like the fact that you got anything. They want to see you die. They want to see you at the bottom. They don't like it. Shout out to Mongoose for the 2. They want to see you at the bottom, man. Hypnotized by hatred. That's what Karmelo had. Karmelo was hypnotized by hatred. And for all you know, why did the girl, listen, okay, the girlfriend reported it to the school. Why did Karmelo go down to the track meet? Why he went down to the track meet? It could have been maybe Shorty was hollering at one of them dudes at the track meet. She probably was getting it in with one of them, probably told Karmelo, I don't want you. I'm going to deal with Austin. Allegedly. I don't know if she was with Austin. I don't know. But why did Karmelo go there? Because it says an hour later, all of a sudden, Austin is dead. He was hypnotized by hatred. Something was said to Karmelo that made him on edge. He was hypnotized by hatred. He went down to that game to settle a score. Just like I told you. Y'all made it all about this tent and about, oh, it's raining. No, man. Karmelo didn't come down there with no buddies. Karmelo wasn't even supposed to probably even be there, probably. He came there by himself. He ain't come down there with a crew. He was by himself. Mad, angry. Just lost his girlfriend. Probably was in love. Enraged that another man is laying pipe on his girl. So he figured, I'm going to get some revenge. Yeah, it was personal. You know? I really wish that the school would have had, not the school, but the stadium. I wish that the stadium would have had some sort of metal detectors, some sort of safety and security. But see, it happened in an area where you probably would least expect crime to take place. You see what I'm saying? It's just like when you're, and I'm not saying that if it's a white area that they don't suspect crimes. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that that stadium where they held that school event, they would not expect something like that to happen. These are kids. These are athletes. You know what I mean? They're there. The teachers are there. The coaches are there. You know, if you're a school teacher or you work in a school and you're a coach or a school teacher, you go to school. I hope that you go to school because you really care about these kids. But typically, like when I was in high school, the teachers actually cared about us students during that time. Like as teens, we did our BS, we fooled around, but primarily our teachers really did care about us. You know what I mean? And they try to be role models as best as they can. I don't know how it is in today's day, but I'm sure that most teachers still got that mindset of making sure that the kids are good, the coaches are A1, want to make sure the athletes are trained properly. So when Karmelo stabbed Austin, I think he ran up to a coach I think he ran up to a coach, I guess, to say what happened, but it was too late. The damage was already done. You know what I'm saying? There was no turning back from that. And then the whole internet started making up lies, talking about, oh, Karmelo was jumped by a group of guys. All of that stuff was a lie, man. That was a lie. They did all of that stuff to hide the truth. Karmelo was a violent kid, fam, a thug who went down there with the intentions to murder someone. And because it was a white boy, it was turned into a racial issue. And the black community sided with Karmelo automatically because he's black. And they tried to run with this self-defense thing. From day one, you go back to my first video I ever made, I told you guys, there is no self-defense with this case. It was premeditated murder. And everybody got upset with me. Everybody got upset with me because I called it from the beginning. You know? Shout out to, oh, that's Mongoose again. Shout out to Mongoose again. Shout out to you for the $50 support. Appreciate you sponsoring the show. Says, what's that thing says? Super effective. I don't even know how y'all get those emoji things. I got to look into all of this stuff. And I'm also hearing on YouTube, whatchamacallit, shout out to Forever Studios, that they have DM messages now on YouTube. They brought it back. They brought back DM messaging on YouTube. It was like that back in the day. So I guess they brought it back. I didn't try it yet, but yeah. Got to see how that working out. But yeah, guys, be sure to hit the like button again. I hope everybody's enjoying their day. We're talking about the breaking news that was released. Now, to be fair in my assessment, because I'm always fair and balanced, Austin has a pass as well that is not nice. At the same time, in comparison to the case with Karmelo versus Austin, I don't see how anybody can use Austin's pass and say, okay, Austin's pass caused his death. No, because Austin didn't do anything for Karmelo to kill him except push him. If Karmelo felt some type of way after getting pushed, he could have put up his hands. But he's a coward. He pulled out the knife. He pulled out this. You see that? He decided to pull this out. Rather than pulling out this, he pulled out this. Come on, that was a sneak attack. Him pulling this out his bag, that was a sneak attack. Also, y'all got to peep game. This is a folding knife. You see this? The knife was not in his bag like this. It was not. The knife was in his bag like that. The knife was ready. He had the knife in his bag ready for action. Do you see that? So he went there with the intent to kill. Guys, this knife is razor sharp. When I first bought this to review it, those of you that saw my live stream, y'all saw me make a mistake and cut myself on camera. I was holding the knife, reviewing the knife, and it dropped. It dropped while I was streaming, and I was trying to catch it, and I guess I caught it by where the blade is, and I end up cutting myself on live. Put a 1 in the chat if you recall that happening. The knife is very sharp, guys. This is a deadly weapon, and this should have never been at that track event. This should have never been in Karmelo's person. Never. I don't want to hear, and you know, all the black commentators on YouTube were saying, oh, all the boys carried this at school. No, you can't carry this at school. This is not allowed on no school grounds. You can't bring this in no school. Also, guys, the rumors were right. The rumors was right. Y'all remember when they were spreading rumors and they were saying that Karmelo got suspended from school because of issues that he had, I believe, with a knife or with another student or something like that. It's true. It wasn't a rumor. It was true. Remember when I was like, oh, I can't really use that in my video against Karmelo because I don't know if it's the truth. Remember? Now it turned out it's true. He did have an issue. You know? Let me get back to the tapes.
Says Anthony had a history of violence and that he wanted to stab someone.
Wow.
Quote, there is a text message where he fantasizes about stabbing someone and licking the blood off the blade.
Man,
he said of Anthony.
That's crazy.
He was obsessed with starting fights, said the prosecutor, and he was prepared to prove that, revealing Anthony had previously been taken by his parents to a special program at LSU for kids who cannot keep their hands to themselves. He went on to say, let's see, there was one other thing suggesting that there was previous aggressive behavior and text messages about a knife in particular.
Wow, man, bro. Damn. If somebody would have got to this damn animal from the beginning, Austin would be alive right now. Now, of course, guys, I know some of y'all are going to have y'all things to say about Austin Metcalf. So, to be fair and balanced, let's go to the tapes. We're going to come back to this. I want to go to the tapes because I don't want nobody saying, oh, you defending the white man. You on the white man's side. What about Austin, Ringo? Listen, I play all the tapes, fam. In this case, the reason why I side with the victim is because he dead. The victim didn't do anything to warrant getting stabbed. But for the case of this situation, I got to be fair. I got to play all the tapes. So not only are we going to play the tapes with Karmelo's dark past and all that other mess, we're going to also play Austin's as well, just for the court of public opinion, so that everybody, both sides, whatever side you on, you'll be able to chime in the argument, right? So let me see if I could go get that. Give me a minute. Let me go find the tapes because, again, I don't want nobody accusing me. Listen, I play all the tapes and I break everything down. So I don't want to hear nobody saying, oh, I'm one-sided. Yo, why you ain't play Austin's tape, Ringo? Listen, I'm playing everybody's tapes. Everybody's tapes getting exposed. Everything getting exposed. We're going to talk about Austin's past and we're going to talk about Karmelo. Karmelo's is more ruthless because why? He killed Austin. Karmelo's past is wicked, but we got to hear Austin's past as well. So let's play the tapes. Let's get to it. Hold on.
For a new trial, the background reports are being released, and the defense is going first, releasing 20 pages now of Austin Metcalf's behavioral history. Karmelo Anthony was dressed in a suit and tie for this morning's hearing, which began with the defense arguing that efforts by the trial judge and prosecutors to combat threats and deal with disruptions actually prevented Anthony from getting an open and fair trial. But bombshell testimony came this afternoon from Anthony's trial attorney, Mike Howard, about Austin Metcalf's background report that was never presented to the jury. CBS News Texas has also learned new details about Austin Metcalf's background. Metcalf and his brother Hunter were once caught spray painting graffiti, including KKK Kill All Blacks and Heil Hitler, along with the N-word, and were sentenced to 12 months of juvenile probation.
Now, let's pause. Let's talk about it, fam. Let's talk about it. Woo! Let's talk about it, man. Now, they were spraying KKK. They were saying kill all blacks. That's dirty stuff. I get it. It don't sound good. It's bad. That's bad. At the same time, we acknowledge that what those young boys put out there is bad, but Austin is dead. And he was killed by a black. who also had a violent past. Do you understand? So when we look at the information about Austin, this information is the dirt that the other side, Karmelo's side, was ready to put out. They were ready to put out that dirt. But then Austin's attorneys and his particular people was like, whoa, y'all think y'all got dirt? We got dirt too. We got the text message and the threats that he was making on the girlfriend and how he was plotting on stabbing somebody and licking blood from a blade. And he had a violent past. And his parents put him in some program for kids that can't keep their hands to themselves. And he loved going around starting fights. So Karmelo was a bully too. They said, you know what? Let's make a gentleman's agreement. As long as Karmelo don't testify, we won't bring out this evidence. If they would have brought out this evidence, Karmelo was going to spend the rest of his life in prison. Y'all could bring out all the dirt on Austin. That ain't saying nothing. You know why? Because he's dead. He's dead. And you got to look at what age he did that at, and was he rehabilitated? Because I'm going to tell you straight up and down, fam. I went to an all-white junior high and high school in Brooklyn, New York. And most of those white boys in the schools, they had racist ways. They would say racist things, N-words, all of that type of stuff back then. Back then, you had to fight in order to be respected back in the day. And I remember when I got into school, white boy was like, we have an N-word, a new N-word that came into school. I broke his jaw. Just that simple. Another white boy, he started that nonsense about, he said, he came up to me, I had a dress shirt on. He said like this, and I think he did like this, and it popped the button. And he was like, the N-word is going to go cry to the principal. I busted his tooth, broke his tooth. And after a while, you start earning respect. And then I start meeting other brothers that started coming into school. The school started to get a little mixed now. You had a lot of black kids start coming in. So now the school is not even all white no more. Now it's half black, half white now. So now things are totally different. And after a while, all that racist stuff, that was dead. After that, everybody started to be friends. Everybody started to be cool. The same kids that we were fighting with now, the same kids that were saying racist-ish, now we playing basketball now. Now we cool. By the time we all seniors, we doing our thing, we busy laughing about what we used to do back in the day. We laughing about, oh, remember when you called me the N-word and I punched you in the face? Yeah, I remember that. But we were all cool now. So what I'm trying to figure out in my mind is, okay, Austin said this with his brother. They were out there doing mischief. What age that was at? You know why? Because I remember when I was in school and I had to deal with all of that BS. That's what I'm trying to know. Y'all sometimes hear these things and y'all think, oh, that's how people are today. That's how they are right now. And you can't do that. People grow out of stuff. So let's get back to this. I'm going to play it straight through without no interruptions so we can hear all the dirt and then we'll come back around. Right? So let me get back to it.
Now, there's in this motion for a new trial, the background reports are being released, and defense is going first, releasing 20 pages now of Austin Metcalf's behavioral history. Karmelo Anthony was dressed in a suit and tie for this morning's hearing, which began with the defense arguing that efforts by the trial judge and prosecutors to combat threats and deal with disruptions actually prevented Anthony from getting an open and fair trial. But bombshell testimony came this afternoon from Anthony's trial attorney, Mike Howard, about Austin Metcalf's background report that was never presented to the jury. CBS News Texas has also learned new details about Austin Metcalf's background. Metcalf and his brother Hunter were once caught spray painting graffiti, including KKK Kill All Blacks and Heil Hitler, along with the N-word, and were sentenced to 12 months of juvenile probation. Records reveal they reportedly told authorities, "We did some dumb stuff. We did some vandalism." There are several documented instances of Austin using racial slurs in school, and in 2023, Austin was accused of bullying a black student in class. In 2018, while still in elementary school, Austin and his brother were accused of bullying and assaulting a female, which led to his arrest. During an argument in 2024 with another female student, Austin allegedly knocked her to the ground and punched her in the stomach. He was also kicked out of a football game and texted someone later, "I was about to beat the expletive out of those kids." At a previous track meet, when another student alerted Austin that someone not on their team, quote, "behind our bench was talking wild," Austin reportedly replied, "Kill that MF." During the 2023-2024 school year, he received in-school suspension twice. School disciplinary records from April 2022 to May 2024 revealed that Austin reportedly called a teacher the B word and used profanity. He told a school official that he couldn't control it and wasn't aware that it was coming out of his mouth. In 2024, on at least 5 occasions, Austin saw a counselor regarding his anger and rage during a football game. In 2021, he got banned from attending basketball games for a season after yelling profanity at a player. Metcalf also got suspended after he and another student were talking about bringing a gun to school the following day. But now there's in this motion for a new trial, the background reports are being released, and the defense is going first, releasing 20 pages now of Austin Metcalf's behavioral history. Karmelo Anthony was dressed in a suit and tie for this morning's hearing, which began with the defense arguing that efforts by the trial judge
it went back around
to combat threats and deal.
Okay, so that went back around. Now, I want you to pinpoint something because, again, if you listen to what I just finished explaining now, some of y'all might be like, well, at least Ringo is fair and balanced. He's playing both sides. He's not trying to control a narrative. He's playing both sides so that people can weigh all the evidence and put it all together. Yeah, because that's how I do my videos. I'm not fake like all these other YouTubers that try to make it a race issue or try to use, well, race, this, that, who's a racist. I'm not doing all of that goofy stuff. Yes, Austin and his brother had some issues. Yes, they did some spray painting, N-words, KKK. But did y'all hear what else they did? Did anybody hear it? Nobody heard the rest, right? See, y'all too busy looking at the white boys, but y'all didn't hear what was said. I'm going to let the tapes play. I'm going to let the tapes play so you can hear it for yourself.
In the stomach. He was also kicked out of a football game and texted someone later, "I was about to beat the expletive out of those kids." At a previous track meet, when another student alerted Austin that someone...
Hold on. Let's play it again from the top. I want you to hear it.
The background reports are being released, and the defense is going first, releasing 20 pages now of Austin Metcalf's behavioral history. Karmelo Anthony was dressed in a suit and tie for this morning's hearing, which began with the defense arguing that efforts by the trial judge and prosecutors to combat threats and deal with disruptions actually prevented Anthony from getting an open and fair trial. But bombshell testimony came this afternoon from Anthony's trial attorney, Mike Howard, about Austin Metcalf's background report that was never presented to the jury. CBS News Texas has also learned new details about Austin Metcalf's background. Metcalf and his brother Hunter were once caught spray painting graffiti, including KKK Kill All Blacks and Heil Hitler, along with the...
Did you get it? Did you get what he just said? So, before you go out here and you just say, well, Austin was a racist, he was this, he was that, Austin's messages was also attacking Jews. So his graffiti and all that other stuff he was putting out there wasn't just attacking black people. He was being racist towards Jewish people. Why? Because he was referring to Hitler. Did you get it? And I remember white boys doing that in school when I was in school. The white boys when I was in school were racist towards Jewish people. Those of you who know, in Brooklyn, you have a large population of Jewish people in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. And the racist whites that were up in Bensonhurst used to be very racist towards Jewish people. So I know the history. So everything you heard in regards to Austin wasn't just targeting black people. They were targeting Jewish people as well. When you say those things, Jewish people will be very offended. Because when you bring up Hitler and you're basically praising Hitler, you're literally mocking all of the atrocities that were done to their people. So what Austin and his brother was doing, I don't know what age this was done. What I'm trying to make you guys understand is that we're not erasing what they did. We're holding everybody accountable. What they did was wrong. It was dead wrong. At the same time, I'm trying to show you, me being a native New Yorker, raised in Brooklyn, I know the history. I understand how white boys get down. Do you understand me? So all that racist stuff they were doing, bro, that was normal. Anybody that really, really hanged around a real white boy is going to experience these things. And then over time, the white boy may end up being mature enough. He grow out of that. He realized he was wrong. He realized he shouldn't have did that. And he become a better person. But a lot of it is the programming that you get from either your parents, other kids, and so forth. I mean, even my little girls that go to school right now, they hear white boys, white kids saying N-words in school. They hear these things, guys. This is the world we live in. You can't hide from this. So get over it. Stop getting so butthurt and alarmed over this stuff. This stuff is everywhere. And if you make that stuff destroy your life, you're never going to be able to survive or live around people. There's a lot of white folk that at one time in their life, they did dirt. But that's not them anymore. Just like you did dirt in your past. But that doesn't define you right now. So we are in no way excusing Austin and his brothers' mischief. They were wrong. It's point blank. But notice what the news media did, fam. The news media went all the way back to when they were literally kids in school talking about, oh, they were bullies. As little kids, fam. Let me see if it pulls up. Hold on. Let me see if it pulls up.
N-word and were sentenced to 12 months of juvenile probation. Records reveal they reportedly told authorities, "We did some dumb stuff. We did some vandalism." There are several documented instances of Austin using racial slurs in school. And in 2023, Austin was accused of bullying a black student in class. In 2018,
Notice this. Notice the picture they put up. And the news media said, oh, he was bullying a black kid in class. Guys, do you know white boys bully other white boys too? Do you know in a predominantly white school, white boys are going to bully other white boys? Y'all think bullying is about race. Guys, people will bully you no matter who you are. Some of you were black. You went to an all-black school and you were bullied by a black kid. And you had to beat them up in order to stop the bullying. But the media plays a role in this because by them putting out all this info, it's to get all of us back fighting again. In other words, let's get off the Nolan Wells train and let's get back on Karmelo. New trial coming up, everybody. Let's start the race wars. Hey, Jimmy, you know they talking about us again? Yeah, these N-words out here, they gathering around for Karmelo. They want us to get on fighting again. That's why I'm trying to do this video so I can pretty much balance out the playing field so that before you get the information from these grifter YouTubers, you heard it here first because they already done starting to divide and conquer right now. Like they already done starting to use race to get us to fight. But now they put out the pictures of them when they were younger in order to say what? Let's see what they have to say.
While still in elementary school, Austin and his brother were accused of bullying and assaulting a female, which led to his arrest.
Guys, at this age, they were accused of bullying a female. And we're bringing this out now? Bro, if they go back to all my school records, they'll find whatever they want to find. If they go back to your school records, they'll find some dirt when you got called into the principal office for busting somebody's lip. This is designed to smear each other. That's what it's really designed for. In other words, it's a racially motivated case. Let's bring out all the dirt we can get to shape public opinion. So black people are going to automatically look at Austin, his family, anybody that's white, and call them a racist. Automatically. But now, with the dirt that's out there on Karmelo, oh my goodness, man. That's just some bad stuff. On the day of the murder of Austin, he wanted to kill somebody. So not necessarily kill. Let me make sure I correct that. He wanted to stab somebody. Karmelo wanted to stab somebody. 1 hour after his girlfriend reported that Karmelo was on edge, talking crazy, she reported it. Austin ended up dead. So even if Austin had a past where he did some things in his youthful years, that does not justify him getting murdered. So I need for everybody to listen carefully and stop judging people based on things that are irrelevant. It's one thing if we can bring up Austin's past when he was a kid and he ended up killing Karmelo, and then his cell phone said, yeah, I just really want to kill an N-word, and it's a recent text, then now we can use all that info. But just because he did dirt does not conclude like, okay, his death is justified because after all, look at how he was in the past, right? That don't make sense. But let's get back to it, and then we're going to get back to the other video.
During an argument in 2024 with another female student, Austin allegedly knocked her to the ground and punched her in the stomach. He was also kicked out of a football game and texted someone.
Notice this.
To beat the expletive.
Notice they didn't identify the girl as black because she wasn't black. Do you see that? The ones that was black, they identified as black. So the girl that he punched in the stomach or whatever, she was white. You see that? And the one where he says something, beat that mother effer or whatever, that person was also white. So you got to make sure that you're listening carefully because you'll assume that everything he did was on black people. That's why you got to listen. You got to listen carefully. So when Austin and his brother was graffitiing walls and doing all this stuff, writing KKK, all this other stuff, that's just him doing that wickedness that a lot of you that may have grown up in the South or been around a lot of young white folk back in the day, you've seen this type of stuff. And it's the type of stuff that a lot of white people don't like to talk about. They don't like having this conversation, but it's a real one. I've seen this stuff and I know what I'm talking about. Now notice the person in the comment says free Karmelo. So you want Karmelo to be free and he's a killer. I'm telling you, the black community stay looking bad, fam. You folks are worse than the racist people you complain about because you're online saying free Karmelo and he's a cold-blooded killer who said he want to lick the blood off the knife of the people he staffed. And this is coming from these FBA folks on social media. They're some of the most sickos you will ever find, fam. They be on YouTube celebrating Karmelo, and he's a killer, y'all. A killer. Let's get back to the Karmelo video, man. I wanted you to see this so that you all know what's going on. But now, let's get back to Karmelo's rap sheet. Because y'all thought I was going to focus only on Karmelo. No. The way I do my content, I focus on everybody. Let's get back to it.
Daily Mail's Marianne Martinez reporting, because they're in court this morning on Carmelo Anthony on the defense motion to get him a new trial, saying that.
Do you see how stupid these black folks are? This idiot says self-defense. And I'm pretty sure that person is an FBA follower. Self-defense. Even after this kid already done been convicted and sentenced to 35 years, this idiot's still talking about self-defense. Guys, listen to my words, and I want you to timestamp this and mark this. If Karmelo get a new trial, he's serving life in prison. Make sure you clip this. If Karmelo Anthony gets a retrial, he's getting life in prison. Because when they released this information that he wanted to lick the blood off the next person he stabbed, guys, he's going to prison for life. That judge, y'all thought because y'all got rid of Roach that he's good? The judge that they got now is a Republican. And he's not no pushover judge. He's a no-nonsense type of judge. When he deal with this, if there is a new trial, Karmelo is going to prison for life. Watch and see. Let's get back to it. Let's go.
Had been a gentleman's agreement that we weren't going to do character evidence at this trial, and the prosecution somehow violated that by making some passing reference to like what Austin Metcalf liked to do or what Carmelo Anthony liked to do for fun. It's such a Hail Mary by the defense. But something big happened in court this morning when the prosecutor got up and did not deny that there was a gentleman's agreement to not go to the character place on either the accused, Carmelo Anthony, who stabbed and killed Austin Metcalf at a track meet for absolutely nothing. Austin told him he had to leave Austin's team's tent, and Carmelo Anthony instantly stabbed him. Or Austin Metcalf. They both sides agreed we're not going to do character evidence on either the defendant or the decedent. And the prosecutor got up there and said, we did have such an agreement, but let me tell you what we would have introduced had we gone there. It would have been like, because now the defense is like, we should have been able to do that. We're going to do that. You know, we could have talked about what a bad person Austin Metcalf was. And he's like, how about Carmelo Anthony, the actual defendant? Here's what I had in my back pocket. He says, first of all, Carmelo Anthony's girlfriend, Valeria, would have testified that she went to school the morning of the stabbing, April 2nd, 2025. And she told school officials that she had broken up with Carmelo Anthony and that he was stalking her.
Wow.
So this had happened that morning. 1 hour later, Austin Metcalf was dead, according to the prosecutor.
That's crazy.
Clearly painting a picture of this kid, so-called Carmelo Anthony, who was a hothead.
Notice the idiot in the chat that says lies. How you going to say it's lies when it is documented and on the mainstream media? To the mods, put that dumbass on the block list. I cannot stand stupid people, bro. I cannot stand idiots that say something is a lie when it is documented facts directly from his cell phone. Like, how stupid could you be?
Who was angry that morning in some level of emotional distress and turmoil already at the time he showed up at the track meet. It's starting to come together, that hair trigger he had.
Wow.
But here's the real headline. So first of all, he texted the girlfriend, I'm low-key on the verge. He texted her the morning of the stabbing. The verge of what? We're not sure exactly. However, the prosecutor says Anthony had a history of violence and that he wanted to stab someone.
Wow.
Quote, there is a text message where he fantasizes about stabbing someone and licking the blood off the blade.
Man.
He said of Anthony. He was obsessed with starting fights, said the prosecutor, and he was prepared to prove that, revealing Anthony had previously been taken by his parents to a special program at LSU for kids who cannot keep their hands to themselves. He went on to say, let's see, there was one other thing suggesting that there was previous aggressive behavior and text messages about a knife in particular. That came out a little bit after. So all of this is deeply disturbing and would not have helped Carmelo Anthony at all, Arthur. So what do you make of it?
Well, first of all, this type of evidence usually only comes out if the defendant's going to testify. You can't unless it's absolutely relevant. Now, maybe the part about the girlfriend going that day, because that's relevant, right? That's within hours of this happening. That may have come out, but it didn't. And I mean, that's the thing. The difference between a jury and a judge at this point, you could let it all hang out. And Megan, I mean, I think Hail Mary is what the term you use. I would say a miracle. In other words, they made a passing reference to him being not a nice kid, but they really had a tremendous amount of ammunition. He kills the guy with a knife, and they have text messages of him dreaming of stabbing someone with a knife and
That's
then
crazy.
licking the blood off his blade. I mean, this case is not going anywhere.
He's an
Yeah.
animal.
And it's a new judge, right? They wanted the judge recused. He wasn't going to be fair and impartial. Good. I'm happy. There's a new judge with a clean slate, and I'm sure this judge is going to be like, okay, I think everything went well at the trial.
Yes, exactly. Because it seems like a no-brainer that, this Carmelo Anthony does not deserve a new trial. This is the new judge. They got rid of the old judge because he gave an interview to the press, Dave, and made all sorts of statements of like, I think my ruling on allowing them to strike those black jurors was correct. I think the jury verdict was correct, and was saying a bunch of stuff that it's very rare that we see a judge give interviews like that. And the defense made the most of it and said, you need to recuse. He didn't recuse. He got bounced off of hearing these motions by
Willie D is going to most likely come up with some sort of excuse video later, or maybe he already did one already, but Willie D is a damn liar. He been riding for Karmelo from way back, and it's just all these guys, all those guys you list. Who else you put on your list? You have Willie D, Roland, Teslin, Ricky. Yeah, all them so-called pro-blacks and them other guys, they're going to just make up excuses. But they can't get around this information. Karmelo wanted to lick the blood off of a knife. Yo, that's as sick as you can be. That's cannibalism. That is a sick animal. That is a demon. That he said he would lick the blood off the knife. I wonder if he did. Did he do that? After he stabbed Austin, did Karmelo lick the blood? Because maybe he did, and we just don't know.
independent judge that they brought in to evaluate the motion. And now the judge has been bounced. But the new judge doesn't exactly seem like a softie, Dave. He's lifelong Republican. They don't tend to be softies on the bench. He also was very well respected when he was on the bench. He only retired in 2020. And he's got some history of actually increasing sentences when they...
If Willie D do a video, I'm going to react to the video. People going to still click on their videos helping them to get rich. I don't know why you guys even watch those guys' platforms. Like, you know them guys are liars. You know those guys have been pushing nothing but misinformation, and y'all still be watching their videos. I don't understand, man. And I do reaction videos. You would think that you would just say, let me watch Ringo react to the video, because all they're going to do is get a click and a view and make money. They're going to lie to you every single time.
back around before him. So I'm not sure they're going to like the new judge any more than they like the old judge. What do you make of all this breaking news?
Yeah, be careful
and,
what you
and
wish
the judge
for.
factor.
Be careful what you wish for. You know, you got the new judge, same as the old judge, right? It's this guy's going to be very tough. I do think
The new judge is not going to give Karmelo a break. And this is the problem with a lot of blacks. They think if we could get the first judge out of the way, that Karmelo going to get like a better chance. No, you're not, fam. They're not playing games with this type of stuff. Karmelo murdered Austin in cold blood. Do you understand that, fam? Now that the evidence is out that he was fantasizing about killing somebody, he was stalking his girlfriend, he wanted to kill his girlfriend, he had anger management issues, he was put in a program by his parents, he was a bully. Y'all talked about Karmelo getting bullied. Karmelo was a bully. All of that came out on the very day this man was texting his girlfriend, fantasizing about he want to stab somebody. If there is a new trial, and this info is released in the trial, Karmelo's doing life in prison. Hands down, they're giving him life.
the right decision to bounce the old judge, because he did give a press interview where he said that he thought the jury got it right with the guilty verdict. Okay, well, the standard is whether it creates a reasonable expectation of bias or an appearance of partiality. And yeah, when you're asking for a new trial, when the judge has already prejudged it, it's good to get a new judge. And that's good for appeal, so they can't keep this going on any longer because the evidence is overwhelming against Karmelo Anthony. And when they say, well, we had a deal with the prosecutors not to put on evidence about the character of Karmelo Anthony, all this other stuff, and then that's why we didn't put on our client, Karmelo Anthony, because if we had, then the prosecutors said they were going to go after him for character. Well, now we know the real reason why they didn't put Karmelo Anthony on the stand. It wasn't because of a deal with prosecutors.
Yes.
It's because they had some smoking gun evidence about his text and his fight with his girlfriend.
For the first time since World War II, our
Let
national...
me fast forward this. They have some infomercial stuff. Let me get past that. Okay, here we go.
agreement, and once we realized the prosecution wasn't gonna honor it, we couldn't put him on the stand. Oh, and by the way, they said we only had 10 minutes to decide whether to put Karmelo on the stand. And the prosecutor actually is featured in this report by CBS Texas. I'm going to play it quickly. SOT 49 on whether that's true too. Listen to this. This aired on July 20th.
Howard's new affidavit says he was 99% sure before the trial that Anthony would testify. He blames part of the reason he didn't on being rushed during the closed-door hearing and the judge declining to extend our time beyond 10 minutes. But the trial transcript shows that behind closed doors, the judge gave Anthony a lengthy explanation of his rights and that the defense had more than a half hour beyond that to consider their next move, even allowing Anthony to consult with his parents before telling the judge, "I don't want to testify." Did you think you had ample time to talk to your lawyers about that and got feedback from them, feedback from your family? You have had enough time to make that decision. Anthony replied, "Yes, sir, we did." What was your reaction to seeing this affidavit?
I was surprised, I was disappointed, and frankly, a little confused. I mean, I was there for every minute of the trial, and Bill Wersky and our prosecution team, they conducted this case so fairly and cleanly and professionally.
Go ahead, Ashley.
Megan, this is so clear. They wanted a door number 3, and there was no door number 3. And that happens a lot. I mean, he wanted a door where he could testify and none of this evidence would come in. That's not possible. No matter how you spin it, no matter how many gentlemen's agreements you have, how you try to wiggle it, if he took the stand, this evidence was going to come in, and this evidence was going to sink him. And that's why he didn't take the stand. And I guarantee you, they didn't have 10 minutes to talk about this. I guarantee you, they've been talking about this for a year.
That's why they didn't put Karmelo on the stand, guys. Now we know why. If they would have put him on the stand, they would have brought this evidence out. He would have been cooked. The jury would have heard that. They would have been like, what? You were stalking your girlfriend? You were plotting? You were fantasizing, talking about, oh, the next person I stab, man, I'm licking the blood off the blade. That's what Karmelo said, y'all. That sick animal. This is the knife, fam. I had to go to Walmart to go buy the knife just so I could do content. This demon got the knife from Walmart and went to unalive Austin because he had a breakup. The man was salty, angry, butthurt, hypnotized by hatred, and took it out on the white boy. Unalived him with a knife, put it in his heart to make it bleed so he could be fulfilled, his fantasy, his sick fetish of blood. All over a breakup. That's just sick, man.
Because the first thing you do, if you're a defense lawyer, is you're going to look at this and you're going to say, oh my God, my client has made statements like this, has made threats with a knife. I mean, he had a prior school incident, where he had been quasi-suspended from school. I mean, he had taken to, this treatment facility, I guess, for kids who couldn't keep their hands to themselves. I mean, all of these things are things that would come up if Karmelo Anthony took the stand. And any defense lawyer would know that there's a huge risk that's going to come out and it's going to be highly relevant. And they wanted a door number 3, and there was no door number 3. So they had to make a choice. They don't like that choice. And now they're trying to go back because they want to try again with another choice. And that's not how it works.
That's exactly
Just a
it.
little bit more from that first report that I was reading about what happened in court came from the Daily Mail. This is from CBS Texas, and their reporting is similar, but adds a little bit of a new element where they say the morning. This is from the prosecutor, Bill Worski. He said, a lot of people have asked why Carmelo Anthony took a knife to attract me. Those reasons were captured in our 404 motion about allowing in prior bad acts by the defendant. The morning of the stabbing, his ex-girlfriend goes to an assistant principal saying she broke up with Carmelo and he was stalking her. There's an Anthony text message saying, I'm on the verge, the morning before the stabbing, and emphasized, and that he emphasized something. It's disjointed, this report. But then this reporter says he also threatened her with a knife. He threatened the girlfriend with a knife.
Oh my goodness, bro. It's over. It's over for Karmelo, y'all. It's over. Did you hear that? Case closed. It's over. Karmelo threatened the girlfriend with the knife. He threatened to kill a girl. Now, I don't know if the girlfriend is white or black. I don't know. But I really want to know. I want to know, is she white or black? Because if his girlfriend is white, woo-wee, this is going to be interesting. Because a lot of you black folk, you've been defending Karmelo all this time. Talking about free Karmelo. But he broke up with his girlfriend. If that girlfriend end up being a white girl, it's going to all come out. I want to know, to all you internet detectives out there, we need to find out who is the girlfriend of Karmelo. Because I don't know. Was it that Spanish-looking chick? Was it her? Because I remember I did a video and I was showing you guys a girl that Karmelo was with. Remember I was showing you guys photos with a Spanish-looking chick. I don't know if she's white. Y'all saying Mexican? Doesn't matter. If she's Mexican, whatever. If she's not a so-called black girl and he wanted to kill her too, bro, he going to prison, man. Because that means he was planning to kill the girlfriend and he was planning to kill somebody else. Listen at the tapes.
The morning of the stabbing, his ex-girlfriend goes to an assistant principal saying she broke up with Carmelo and he was stalking her.
Stalking.
There's an Anthony text message saying, I'm on the verge.
On the verge.
Before the stabbing, and emphasized, and that he emphasized something. It's disjointed, this report. But then this reporter says he also threatened her with a knife. He threatened the girlfriend with a knife.
He threatened the girlfriend. Guys, woo. So, if it's the Mexican girl, I'm going to go back and find that photo. I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to look it up. I want to find out if that's the same girl because, man, oh, man, Karmelo threatened to unalive that girl, bro. Man, this is all coming out. I told you he was a demon, bro. And you got all these FBA groups on YouTube condemning everybody that speak against Karmelo, and the whole time, this mother lover was out here threatening a young girl to kill her with the knife because she broke up with him. This damn animal threatened to kill this girl because she didn't want to be with him no more. He went and bought a damn knife so he could kill somebody's daughter. Somebody's daughter was fearing for her life. She went to the school and she reported it. She said, this damn crazy lunatic got a knife on him and he wanted to kill me. Now, what if she was your daughter? Your baby girl being threatened by this damn animal. What does Karmelo do? He goes to the track meet with this knife in his bag, angry because he can't get to keep that girl in his life because she recognized he had some sort of mental issues. So she cut him off Smart girl, by the way, because not many women cut a man off that is sick mentally. Sometimes a lot of you ladies, you stay in these damn relationships with these demons and then they end up unaliving you. So thankfully, God must have gave her some discernment to say, look, you need to cut this ninja off. And she did the right thing. Because if she didn't cut him off at that time, she would be dead too. Matter of fact, right after he killed Austin, if anything, he would have went home. If he would have got away, he would probably went home and killed the girlfriend. This is sick, man. I want to know, what are the pro-blackity blacks going to talk about now? What are y'all going to talk about? And shout out to the conservative perspective. I think that's his name, Black Conservative Perspective. That's his talking point. He always say the pro-blackity blacks. I like that saying, the pro-blackity blacks, because that's exactly what they are. The pro-blackity blacks. They love to defend Karmelo. How you going to defend him now? How you going to defend a kid that wanted to kill his Mexican Hispanic girlfriend? He wanted to kill her. Let's see if we could go pull it up. Let me see if I can go find some more info. Hold on, y'all. Because we on live. I forgot. Let's see if I can go find some info. See what we got. This is crazy, man. This is sick. Karmelo. Carmelo Anthony. I don't know where his oh, that's somebody made a page. That's messed up. Somebody made a page. They made a page with AI videos with him wearing heels walking into prison. I'm pretty sure some of y'all seen that garbage already. But let me look up Carmelo Anthony girlfriend. This is sad, man. This is sad, bro. This poor girl, man. So, her name is Valerie. Carmelo Anthony's ex-girlfriend, identified in court records and reports as Valerie, reported him for alleged stalking behavior to a school administrator at Centennial High School on April 2nd, 2025, just hours before the fatal stabbing. What are the pro-blackity blacks going to say about that? What are you FBA hypocrites going to say about that? Because remember, Carmelo's supposed to be FBA. So if Carmelo's an FBA savage, explain to me why he was stalking Valerie with a knife, threatening to kill her. Because she wanted to break up with him? So you mean to tell me, because a girl want to break up with you, you want to get a knife and kill her? Bro, what kind of weak man are you? Is that what you... So that's what you folks defending? This is sick. Oh, here we go. Is this it here? Wait a minute. I think this is the girl. I think this is the girl here, y'all. Hold on. Let me get the photos ready, man. This is crazy, man. This sick bastard. This damn animal. This piece of shit wanted to kill this girl, bro. Nah, bro. This is sick. Let me see. I got some photos here. Let me see if I'm going to do this, fam. Give me a minute, guys. I'm setting up this stuff here. Let me see if I could do this. Look at these photos. Let me take some pictures of these. Yep. This gotta be the girl. This poor girl was gonna be dead, y'all. She was supposed to die too. This sick bastard was gonna kill her. It's messed up, man. And keep in mind, guys, she wasn't a black girl. She was Mexican. Karmelo wasn't dating a Mexican. A black girl. He was dating a Mexican girl, and he wanted to kill her for leaving him. Let me see if I can get these photos on the screen. Give me a minute. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Support the work. Don't be out here hating, and I'm out here providing this good content. Stop the hate. Stop all that mess, man. Too many times y'all be hating me every damn day because I'm speaking the truth. Stop hating this truth. I've been right the whole time, and y'all still not showing no love. You better get on the winning team. Better get on the winning team, because all these other content creators been lying to y'all the whole time. They've been lying and defending a killer. So, let's get it. Right? So right here, you see Nolan with the girl. Right? That's Nolan with the girl. Right? Let's get another one. Look at this crazy motherfucker. He wanted to kill her. He wanted to kill that girl, man. This sick animal. This sicko was plotting, stalking this girl because she decided that she wanted to get away. She actually had love for this demon. This sick animal wanted to unalive this girl, man. This is crazy, man. This is absolutely crazy. She was supposed to be dead, y'all. Whatever prompted that girl to get out of the way and get rid of Karmelo, it saved her life, because she was supposed to die. She was supposed to die, y'all. Something told her, listen, cut him off, get out of the way, and report it to school. So obviously she's a smart girl. She did all the right stuff. I wish more women thought like her and recognized the signs of when it's time to get out. He probably was arguing with her, cursing her out, calling her all kinds of hoes and bees, disrespecting her, making all sorts of threats that he's going to kill her. She said, you know what? I'm done. We're done. We're over with. And I'm going to the school. Well, she probably didn't tell him that she's going to report him. But he probably threatened her and said, look, you tell anybody, I'm going to kill you. She said, look, I'm going to report this. She went to Centennial High School, to the administration team, and reported him to everybody. Now, I don't know what the high school did. So now we need to know, and we need to hold the high school accountable. We need to find out from the high school if you guys had a report that was made to the high school administration team that Karmelo Anthony was stalking this young girl with a knife, making death threats, fantasizing about stabbing somebody. Why the high school didn't notify local authorities that there's a possibility at this school event, Karmelo might show up there. We need to be on the lookout for this crazy kid with a knife. Somebody needs to be investigated at that high school in regards to this threat that was put out there, because I don't think they took it serious. I don't think they took the threat serious, y'all. I think that when that girl made that report, they probably just took the report and put it on the back burner and didn't take it serious. You know? I think that's what happened. And now, look what happened. Austin ends up dead. And nobody was bullying Karmelo under no tent. That's a lie. There was no fight. Nobody jumped him under no tent. Pushing that lie for months, been lying the whole time.
In our 404 motion about allowing in prior bad acts by the defendant. The morning of the stabbing, his ex-girlfriend goes to an assistant principal saying she broke up with Karmelo and he was stalking her. There's an Anthony text message saying...
Text message.
I'm on the verge the morning before the stabbing, and emphasized... and that he emphasized something. It's disjointed, this report. But then this reporter says he also threatened her with a knife. He threatened the girlfriend with a knife in one message and told her in another, when I stab someone, I'm going to lick their blood off the blade.
Wow. Man, yo. He threatened her, fam. The guy named Karmelo Anthony that the FBA community supports, the pro-blackity blacks, they support him. He threatened the girlfriend with the knife, threatened to unalive her, and then said the person he stabs, he's going to lick their blood off the knife. That is a sick thing to say, fam. You got to be mentally sick. You got to have demons in your brain controlling your every move to fantasize. Now you have to think about this, gang. He was fantasizing with this knife, fantasizing about putting this knife in someone's flesh, and then seeing the blood on the knife and licking the blood to consume it. As if though the taste of blood is good for the body. This sick animal. How could anybody defend a creature like that? Yeah, and they want him out of prison so he could go do that again. The black community want Karmelo Anthony to be free so he could go and get another knife from Walmart so he can unalive somebody and lick the blood. No, that damn ninja need to stay in prison, and I hope that they give him life in prison. I hope there is a retrial, because normally when they have these type of things, they give you more time. Yeah, he's a vampire. He definitely is a vampire. Talk about you want to lick the blood from the knife? What kind of sick animal are you, man? How could any of you support Karmelo? How could any of you so-called blacks support a killer who fantasize about putting this knife in someone's chest, seeing their blood on the blade, then licking the blade to taste the blood of their victim? Bro, anybody you see on social media defending Karmelo Anthony moving forward is a devil. Anybody you see doing that, unsubscribe from their platform. Anybody you see co-signing Karmelo saying free Karmelo. Oh, it was self-defense. Unsubscribe from that person. Don't have nothing to do with that YouTuber. Don't. You can't support this type of evil, man. That's sick, man. That's some old, what is that dude, that cannibalist guy? There was somebody that killed some people and they would eat the people. Was it, I'm not sure, was it that preacher? Was it that preacher guy that got the people killed? Was it Jeffrey Dahmer? I'm not sure if that's the name. Where they were killing the people and eating them. Some cannibal stuff. I forgot who it was, man. But it was somebody that was a killer, a serial killer, and they would eat the people, drink their blood. That's some sick. I hope there's a retrial. I hope and pray that there is a retrial and they could put Karmelo away for life in prison. Just for that statement that he want to lick the blood off the knife. So he's a cannibal. Anybody that want human blood, that's a cannibal, bro. So was it a ritual death? Was Karmelo Anthony, when Karmelo killed Austin, was it a ritual sacrifice for blood? Because why would he think that? Why would he think those thoughts? That's inhumane. It's one thing if you killed somebody, but to say you want to lick the blood off the knife, bro, that is demonic. That's beyond sick. Did he do this before? Did Karmelo ever harm animals? Because normally this starts with animals, man. Sometimes you got these kind of sickos, they'll harm dogs, cats, little animals, take their blood and do weirdo stuff with, man. If he's saying that about another human being, guys, it had to be something he did before. And to think, Karmelo's parents been on the news receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars in support, fam. And their kid was a damn cannibal, bro. That's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
So it seems like he might have made a specific threat to the girlfriend, which is why she's in reporting it to the principal.
Yeah, and you know, Megan, this case, honestly, and I know you kind of agree, but this was a no-brainer, right? I mean, he stabs his kid in the chest for basically no reason, and all this, and none of us are happy when a young person like Karmelo Anthony is now going to spend basically his life in prison, but it makes you feel more comfortable about what really happened here.
Yeah.
I mean, and this stuff, if you testify, I don't care about gentlemen. There's no gentleman's agreement.
What is that?
If a defendant testifies, you know, this is what I mean, look, this is a different location than Manhattan or in Brooklyn where I practice, but it's the rules of evidence. And if I'm the prosecutor, I'm going to do everything I can to get that in. I'm going to bust my butt to argue to the judge, why is this relevant? It has to go to his mindset that day. This isn't from 5 years ago. This is right there and then. The girlfriend.
See, here's the thing, fam. I get what I believe this is, what is this? Arthur? I think they put his name, Arthur, right? I agree with what he's saying. If I was Austin's attorney during this particular situation, I would have put out the information about Karmelo. I don't care what dirt they got on Austin, because that's not going to stick. Because why? Austin is dead. So y'all can put out whatever dirt y'all got, but we're going to put you in prison, bro, for life. I really felt that Judge Roach, the prosecutors, everybody that was concerned in this case was really trying to give Karmelo a fair trial for him to get the least amount of time. I really believe that, fam. I believe that the judge, look, a lot of black people condemn Judge Roach and made him look like he's a racist. He's not a racist, y'all. He's actually a good judge. Y'all just don't understand how the system works. Because here's the thing. Nobody want to see a young man go to prison for the rest of his life. Nobody want to see that. At the same time, if you murder somebody and you're like 17, you about to face all this time in prison, nobody don't want to see you do that type of time, man. Especially if you had no criminal background. They wanted to give Karmelo the best opportunity to be able to serve some time, have some accountability, and still be able to have a life after prison. Even though he did dirt, he murdered somebody. Even Austin's father, he didn't want to see him go away for a long time like that, but Karmelo was going to do time regardless. So they did not want to bring this evidence out. If they would have brought this evidence out, Karmelo would have got life in prison. If the jury would have heard what Karmelo said, the threats on the girlfriend, threatening her with a knife, licking blood from a knife, fantasizing about stabbing somebody, the jury would have said, put this demon away for life. We don't ever want him to come out of prison. To harm somebody else's child? Nah. And he was 17? So imagine when he's an adult and he thinks like this? Nah, put him in prison for life. Karmelo getting 35 years was a good deal. And if you guys been following my videos, I already told you. Karmelo could have got less time. Karmelo could have got about 10 to 15 years. And he would have been home in probably 7 years. He would have been able to be on parole. How, you may ask? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. If Karmelo's family, because Mr. Metcalf Sr., when Metcalf Sr. went down to the press conference and tried to break bread with the family to bridge the gap, that was the moment in time that this whole thing could have worked out for Karmelo. Let me explain. If the family of Karmelo would have welcomed Metcalf Sr. when he went down there to that press conference, remember the one where they kicked him out? They said, you're not welcome here, and kicked him out and tried to embarrass him. If Karmelo's family would have embraced Metcalf Sr., hugged him, said, look, we stand with you. We're very apologetic for what our son did. And then somehow made Karmelo come on national television, meeting with Metcalf Sr. face to face, and apologize and say, look, I know I'm going to serve some type of prison time. I'm wrong. It was not self-defense. I was angry. I killed your son. Please forgive me. I'm apologetic. I'm very remorseful. I can't take back what I did, but I'm not going to sit here and act like it's self-defense. I am truly, truly sorry for what I did. I know I ruined my life. I ruined my future. I disgraced my family, my community. Please find it in your heart to forgive me. I know I'm going to serve time. I'm not trying to get a get out of jail free card. I know I'm going to do time. Please have mercy on me. Please don't send me away for life. Please don't send me away. I'm only 17. I can't do the time. Please. I know I'm going to do time, but please don't throw my life away. I'm scared. I know what I did is wrong. And then you hug Metcalf Sr. That would have been monumental all over social media, the news media. And by the time they would have went to trial, I don't think Karmelo would have got 35. I think they would have gave him 10. They would have probably gave him 10 years, y'all. They would have probably gave him 10 years, meaning you're going to be accountable for what you did. You're not going to get out of jail free. He would have got about 10 to 15. I think they would have gave him 10 years. Just because he was remorseful, that would account for something. The jury would have saw it. They would have probably teared up. They would have probably been sad about it. Like, damn, this kid is really sorry for what he did. He's owning up to it. He's not backing down. He's not trying to play the race card. He's not doing none of that stuff. He would have got about 10 years, fam. And the two families would have been close. They would have been supportive of Karmelo's rehabilitation. It would have ended in a win-win for both families. But because Karmelo's family played the race card, didn't own up to it, claimed self-defense, bro, and disrespected Mr. Metcalf, bro, that was a mess. That wasn't going to end well, fam. That's why he got 35. And even with 35 years, that's still a good amount of time because he was going to get life in prison. And with parole, good behavior, he would have been out in about 15 years, 17 years, I think. Probably he would have had to do about 17 years, 18 years. He would have been eligible for parole. Not necessarily, but he would be eligible for parole. He would have been home. I mean, 17 years is a long time either way. But I think that if he would have been remorseful and owned up to his responsibilities, he would have been good. That's why it doesn't pay to pull the race card, man. It doesn't pay to pull the race card. And you gotta be honest, guys. You gotta be very honest. Let me give you a little story of what happened last night, guys. All right? Last night, my family and I, we went to the supermarket. Whatchamacallit, Food Lion, the local Food Lion. And, went food shopping and whatnot. And under the cart, we had a large bottle of oil, the Food Lion oil. And for some reason, I never paid for it. You get home, I'm looking at the receipt. Like, I didn't even pay for the oil. Damn. Now, some people will be like, oh, I'm keeping the oil. No, I can't do that because I live in the community. It's a community store. They got cameras in that store. They see when you shop and you're at the checkout, so they know you didn't scan that. I don't want that to be on my conscience that we didn't pay for a damn bottle of oil. So I got back in the car, drove back down to the store, told the lady, I said, hey, we purchased this oil here, as you see, and for some reason I forgot to scan it. I want to pay for it. She was like, wow, thanks for your honesty. She was blown away. Couldn't believe it. I went, she scanned it up on the computer, and I just paid for it at the register and got my receipt, and I left. I felt better about myself as a man because you got to be honest, fam. If Karmelo would have been honest about what he did and just own up to it, ain't nothing wrong with that. Just own up. Be accountable for what you did. It'll turn out better for you and your family. Matter of fact, even in prison, you'll be respected. Especially among them Aryan Nation fellas, them gang white boys, all them dudes in prison that may wanted to get some vengeance. Even they would have had respect for you. because you didn't make it a race issue. You owned up to your shit. You did what you had to do, and you're just going to do your time and go home. It is what it is, man. Let me see. You said what? Who in the chat? A fake Beyonce troll in the chat? That's just one of those FBA followers. That person is most likely black, and they're just angry that we're covering the case. So they're upset. Let them sit there and run their mouth. It doesn't matter. I'm about to end the show. Nirvana, whatever. Karmelo is staying in prison. So you could troll. You could do whatever you want to do. Karmelo's a murderer. And he ain't never coming home. He ain't never going to see freedom. And I hope and pray that there is a retrial just so they could bring this evidence into the trial. Because once they release this evidence, it's over for him. Because a new judge is not going to be happy with this. So they're automatically going to give him time. But with the information that's here now, a jury that's going to hear this, they're going to be pissed. They're going to be like, why wasn't this released in the first case? He's going away for life, guys. He ain't never coming home. And now that this is being circulated all over the internet, Karmelo don't stand a chance in a retrial. And here's another thing. That's if the judge accept it. It's up to the judge to determine if there's going to be a retrial. That judge may say, you know what? Let's do a retrial just to give him more time to make an example out of him. Y'all better be careful what y'all wish for. Y'all wanted a retrial? Okay, cool. You're going to get a retrial. And this time, Karmelo is going to get life in prison. Whoo! That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt, bro. Man. If they give him a retrial and he get life in prison, oh, man. You should have took what you got. What did Denzel tell that dude on The Equalizer? You should have took the $9,000. You should have took the money and released the girl. Now you on this floor dead in a pool of blood over $9,000. Should have took the money. You know, like how when they give you a plea deal? Look at what happened with that dude. Y'all remember what's that nigga? What's his name? The dude that got sent to prison for life for having all those wives in the jungle. Eligio. Nature Boy. That ninja had a plea deal that was offered to him. He was supposed to do, I think, about 9 years or 7 years. I got to go back up and look up the case. Let me see. Let me look it up. Let me look it up real quick. And then we'll kind of wrap up the stream. Because this is crazy. How many years was Nature Boy getting with the plea deal? Oh, it wasn't? Oh, man. So All right, so here's the facts. He wasn't getting 7 years. He was getting 30. It says Eligio Bishop, the internet personality and leader of the Carbon Nation group, known as Nature Boy, turned down a plea deal that offered 30 years in prison. Woo! They were giving him 30 years, bro. That's the plea deal. Oh, yo, 30 years. Nah, bro. Man. So it says he rejected the plea deal. The proposed sentence was 30 years. The deal include a reduced charge of aggravated assault, dropping the original RAPE charge, and 30 years for revenge corn-related counts, while dropping a false imprisonment charge. So technically, he would have been out, guys, in about 16 years. Probably less. Probably about 14, 15 years, he would have been home. So if you think about it, 30-year sentence, good behavior, he would have been eligible for parole. He would have been home in about 14 years. He turned it down. And it says, after taking the case to trial in the DeKalb County, Georgia, a jury found him guilty on all counts, including the grape charges. Judge Stacy sentenced him to life in prison. Life in prison without the possibility of parole. Plus 10 consecutive years for false imprisonment. If this idiot would have took the plea deal, he would have been out in 14 years. Instead, he wanted to go to trial to fight and end up getting life in prison. Man, bro, I would have probably died, bro, in court hearing you will now spend life in prison. My heart would have stopped. I would have been like, Your Honor, please, could I take the plea deal? Please? That plea deal sound really good right now, right? When you put life next to that plea deal sounds good. Always take the plea deal, guys. Always. Let's see what we got. Nirvana, you're late. We already talked about everything dealing with Austin. So everything you're saying now, you wasting your energy. We already talked about that in the stream. But because you're late to class, you're trying to now talk about Austin said this, Austin said slurs. We already covered all of that. See, I cover all bases before you trolls begin to talk. I already talked about all of this already. Anyway, let's get back to the case, guys. I already talked about all the stuff you're trying to talk about now. We already covered it already. So stop wasting your time. Go back and look at the video. You wasting your time. I'm smarter than you, fam. I am very intelligent. That's why I covered all bases first. Let's go.
Her fear is so heightened that she's reporting it to authorities. That is something, if I'm a juror, I want to know that this kid on that particular day, he had hate in his heart. I mean,
he was itching for a fight, and more than just a fight. I mean, a murder.
He wanted blood.
And Sarah Fields, who's been doing great reporting on this, she reports, my multiple sources have been telling me there is so much more about Karmelo Anthony behavior, texts on his phone that go back for years. I mean, Dave.
Texts on his phones that go back years. Karmelo had texts on his phone, guys, fantasizing about killing people and bullying.
We need to see this because the Austin Metcalf's family is still being harassed by these lunatics down there who think somehow their dead son is to blame for going over to Karmelo Anthony and saying, You need to leave this tent. This is for our team.
Yeah.
To the mods, block Nirvana, please, if there's any mods in the building. I don't like dealing with idiots. Like, guys, if you disagree with something, that's okay. But stop trying to ignore facts. This is mainstream media information that is out there now in regards to Carmelo Anthony. And you're saying that there's no evidence. Like, please stop doing that stupidness, fam. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't like when people keep posting stupid comments. So let me put this person on the block list, right? Bye-bye. Go sign up under a new account. Let's go.
By the fact that they've made so much noise and are claiming that they didn't get a fair shake and they need a new judge, it does open the door for all this stuff to come out, at least in the court of public opinion, because to think that this was somehow self-defense, now we know why he brought the knife.
Now we know.
And we know it's not self-defense. This was not a spontaneous act. This was something, a guy who was a ticking time bomb, and they had a scrap, a disagreement, and at worst, it should have been like a pushing fight, which it was. Instead, he brought a knife into it. And so there is no sympathy for him. Arthur is
no sympathy. I don't got no sympathy for Carmelo, fam. Because he killed this kid. He could have just knuckled up. He ain't want to knuckle up because he was scared. Right? Number two, he didn't take no accountability. He didn't own up to it. And then he tried to push this, self-defense. Y'all remember the videos that I showed where he asked the cop, he was like, could I use self-defense? And the white cop was like, I didn't see anything. This is crazy, man. And then you have the black community defending this garbage. It don't make no sense.
We don't want to see young people go to prison for life, but he took the life of another person and destroyed a family. And now that family is also being dragged through the mud. So it's important for the truth to come out.
There you go.
Thanks for watching this clip. If you're new here, subscribe. We got a...
So, guys, we're going to talk about this a little more later. And we're going to also talk about more of Nolan Wells. Man, oh man, bro. Ain't it crazy how the truth comes out? The truth always comes out, guys. Carmelo Anthony was fantasizing about killing people, y'all. Fantasizing about killing people. Threatened his girlfriend, threatened to unalive his girlfriend because she broke up with him. Make sure you watch this video from the beginning, guys. We covered every detail. We didn't keep this case one-sided. I'm fair and balanced, but when I do my reporting, we talked about Austin's past, things that he did that was wrong. We didn't excuse him at all. What he did with his brother is not cool, but I want the black community, before y'all start running, pushing racism, and everything is race, everything that you heard them talk about in regards to Austin, he also targeted the Jewish community. So it wasn't just black people. What he had to say in terms of writing slurs and KKK and other stuff, he also said stuff in regards to Hitler, which was addressed to Jewish people. I remember when I was coming home from junior high, we would get on a school bus and we would drive, they would drive past like where Jewish people lived in the community. And you would have the white boys, they'll be on the bus, they'll open the window and they'll say remarks in regards to Hitler, and everybody would get pissed. Like Jewish guys would turn their head and they would be mad because it was designed, it was all hate they were spreading, guys. A lot of hate. I seen this stuff as a kid, guys. So hearing that Austin and his brother did those type of things, it's not new. It's not surprising to me. But they grown up out of that. What I'm saying is, okay, they may have did that at one point in their time, but that does not identify Austin at the age of when he died. Does that make sense? Meaning, when he was younger, yeah, he did some dirt. I'm not excusing his dirt. It's wrong. At the same time, when he was a little older, when he got killed, he wasn't doing those things. So you can't judge his character based on, oh, look what he did when he was younger. See, that's why Carmelo had a right to kill him. No, can't do that. But when you look at Carmelo's rap sheet, Carmelo information is up to date. He was fantasizing about stabbing somebody. He was threatening the life of his girlfriend. He stalked her, left threatening messages, and talked about how next time he stabs somebody, he's going to lick the knife, the blood off the knife. That's what Karmelo said. And hey, shout out to everybody that's joining on the show. I see a lot of people saying hi, Ringo. Appreciate y'all all stopping by. If you're new to the platform, consider subscribing, guys. I know a lot of people hate me for speaking on these issues. A lot of people hated me during the Karmelo Anthony case. Listen, a lot of y'all should be apologizing to me for all the hate, because I've been right the whole time. I told y'all he was a monster. I told you he had mental issues. I told you he was on edge. I told you he went down to that event prepared to kill somebody. Y'all didn't believe me. I told you he was on edge. I told you him carrying that knife meant he wanted to kill somebody that day. Now look at the information coming out. He was threatening the girlfriend to kill her with the same knife. Luckily for her, she reported it to the principal, school administration, and she was able to stay alive. It would have been good if they would have notified local law enforcement so they could put a word out on the street that there's a kid with a knife based on the text messages, and we need to find out that he's not at none of these schools. They should have did that, you know? Shout out to Denise. See you in there. Says support this work. Support the work, ladies and gentlemen. If you like my content, you want to support, you can always hit the Cash App. I don't know if there's any moderator in the building that could put my Cash App in the live stream, but if you can't find it, it's $ Ringo TV Raw. You can always find that in the description of the video. I suggest you look in the description of the video for my Cash App or my PayPal. If you want to support the shows, because that is what keeps us afloat doing what we got to do. Of course, my haters would not want to see anyone support my work because they want to see me die. But I know that I got true people out there that support the work, people that rock with me, and it is what it is. Shout out to everybody that support on the Cash App. I appreciate all y'all support, fam. So I'm going to get up on out of here. I'm going to go to the park, do what I got to do, and get some content going. I'll be back later. And it is what it is, man. So rate, comment, and subscribe. Y'all have a blessed day. And make sure with the Cash App, it's all caps, all capital letters. Ringo TV Raw. $ Ringo TV Raw. Make sure if you send anything via Cash App that it's the correct Cash App, guys. I've had people that made some horrible mistakes. Always make sure. That's why I say check the video description or an actual URL from this platform so that you know that you're going towards the right people. I've had people send $200 Cash App to the wrong person. And then they got mad at me. Yo, bro, you receive that? Nah, what are you talking about? I sent you a Cash App. I didn't get anything. What Cash App you sent to? Your Cash App. I didn't receive anything. Isn't your Cash App so-and-so and so? Nope, that's not mine. You sent it to somebody else. What? Yo, I sent you $200. Bro, you sent that to somebody else. That have nothing to do with me. Person was mad at me, fam. It's crazy. How you gonna get mad at me if you sent it to the wrong Cash App, bro? But guys, I want to hear what the pro-blackity blacks are going to say. Anybody that's any pro-blackity black that have anything to say, guys, I'm doing reactions to their videos. And we're going to uncover how they're going to be deceptive to try to change the narrative. They're going to focus highly on Austin. All of the pro-blackity blacks. They're going to make it a race issue. These FBA guys, you're going to see them pop up later. They're going to... Guys, y'all got to turn that crap off. When you see these YouTubers come on, hey, what's going on to all my FBA brothers and sisters? Guys, don't fall for the okie doke. Those people just want your money. It's a scam. When you see YouTubers, black folk coming on, hey, shout out to all my FBAs, you know, our lineage. Please salute to all my brothers and sisters. They're full of shit. They just want your money. So they're going to try to gaslight you with all of this FBA garbage. Guys, stop listening to that mess, man. Like you have one other YouTuber, that other guy that I had cut off. This guy's a straight demon and a clown. Y'all haven't noticed all his content pivoted over into FBA now? Bro, I'm gonna drop the DMs again, bro. I gotta drop some DMs, bro, of this dude speaking against FBA, speaking against the new bonnet guy, and yet now he's pro FBA. This stuff is sick, bro. That's why I said stop following these online movements because it's all a scam, bro. It's a scam. So y'all take care. Have a blessed one. I'll be back on later with more content, guys. Ringo TV Reaction salute you. Peace and blessings to the mods in the chat. Caramel, Kimmy Kim, Forever Studios. Shout out to all the members and mods. All those that subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody that supported on the Super Chat, the Cash App. Appreciate everybody. Love and support. So we'll be back later with more updates. We're going to keep you informed with the Karmelo situation and the Nolan Wells situation and other stories. I'll catch you later on with more. I'm out. Y'all take care. Peace.